This is the Michael Bryan Show. Hi everyone, Mike here, and this is the first installment of the Ask Mike series. So it's going to be around 4 episodes where I answer either your questions or questions that have been sent in to me over the past couple of years. I haven't done a Q&A for a long time, so I thought this would be nice to break it up into smaller chunks and answer your questions. So, what's a book, movie, or song that has had a profound impact on my life? And it's one of Napoleon Hill's books. It's Outwitting the Devil. And the idea is it's a conversation between the author and the devil, and it's a conversation about how the world works, then goes on to how to outwit the devil, get the most out of your life, that sort of thing. So it was quite an interesting read and changed how I think about the world when I first read it, and I try to read it every couple of years just to refresh my thinking and refresh my mind. So it's a good read if you want to change how you think and how to get the most out of your life. If you could have any job other than the one you currently have, what would it be and why? I'm going to say I would really like to be a pilot because you see amazing places. It's something that requires a lot of skill and you need to be committed to improving yourself and developing, and you also get to travel as well. So I would say being a pilot will be up there. But for those that don't know, I need glasses to drive. So I'd have to make sure my eyes were up to standard before I took on being a pilot. So that would be my answer to that one. How does your personal life impact your professional work? So outside of the podcast, I do run companies and businesses as well. And very often they can clash. It's not necessarily a balancing act. You find a way to integrate everything in. Since things like family has expanded and we're traveling more, the podcast has had to take on a little bit of a different approach, and that's allowed me to be able to balance and integrate my work with my personal life as well. It's just a case of adapting and adjusting as you go and finding solutions to things as they come up. You don't really have any other choice if you want to do both. If that means your date nights with your spouse or your partner or appointments in your diary. It sounds a bit silly to have to do that, but the busier you get, the more you're working to be able to afford the lifestyle that you want. You have to then find a way, simply have to make the time to then do your personal things as well. And it's not always going to work, things will break eventually, but having the ability to do that is a skill. It is something that you can develop and grow and use, and everyone benefits. If you think about it that way, everyone benefits from your ability to solve these problems, to integrate everything in. It's always worth trying to find a way to make everything work. I think we're on the 4th question now. How has your perspective on success evolved over time? Now, mine has shifted actually since I wrote my books and since the podcast came out. Things have shifted because when you achieve a certain level or when you live a certain way, things start to become clearer. So when I went traveling, when I lived abroad, when I achieved the life that I wanted, or at least thought that I wanted, it got normal. And when that happened, the things that you think are the top of the mountain, that shifts for you quite quickly. And trying to stay in this gratitude place, trying to stay in a situation where you're grateful for everything, no matter how long you have it for, that gets harder. And you are always looking for the next idea, the next little hill to climb, the next little goal for yourself. And while that's okay, you need to realize that if the things that you thought you wanted, you no longer do, then you've got to change. You've got to think of what is next. Or get pretty good at being grateful for it, practice things like accepting what you currently have can help you break that cycle. It can help you get out of that pattern where you're never satisfied, you're never happy, and that's the only way. The only way is to find a way. You've got to go through it. If you're the kind of person that achieves things quite quickly and develops things and grows things and achieves these goals quite quickly, you've got to be able to settle. You've got to be able to appreciate what you have eventually. Otherwise, you're going to keep accumulating things, keep doing things, keep achieving these goals. But you also need to flip it on its head a little bit and say, how am I going to enjoy things as well? How am I going to appreciate things more at the same time? Because you can't have everything all at once. You have to be able to take your time to find the best way of doing things. It's the only way. Because otherwise you'll burn yourself out. You'll be working every day. You'll be achieving goals without really understanding why they are goals to begin with. And you're in this trap. You're on this rat race. It's a different rat race to what most people think. But you're still on the treadmill. You're on a different treadmill. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it any easier. How do you get off the treadmill that you want to be on? That's the question you want to ask yourself, because you've got to be able to separate yourself from that if you ever intend on leaving it and eventually appreciating what you have. Being grateful doesn't last forever. Being able to appreciate something and being able to be at peace with it, that's the next level. So success has now evolved into having the time and the energy to fully appreciate the different levels and layers of your life. Appreciating the business is easy. It's easily measurable. Appreciating your health is a little bit different. Appreciating your relationships and your friendships, again, is a little bit different. So think about it. Think about how much you appreciate, how much you are grateful for, and how often you do that. Because practicing gratitude and appreciation and a level of peace in your life is so much easier. And the final question for this one is, how has your family impacted your career? So this is an interesting one because many years ago I achieved things that I never thought that I would, and it does inform the previous question, where this one is an interesting one because ultimately it's shifted my priorities, it's shifted what's important to me, and therefore what I need to do to be able to maintain those as priorities. So my family has become one of the main reasons why I do what I do, whether it's my businesses, whether it's my health. Being able to look after myself has gotten harder, and yet I am more motivated to make sure that I'm stronger, that I'm fitter, that I'm healthier, that I am as pain-free as possible to be able to look after my family, to be able to run my businesses. Some of them are more physically demanding than others. That ability to be healthy has become the reason why. Once you have a family, that becomes a very good reason to do what it is that you're doing. And that's become what it's like for me as well. My family has made prioritizing easier because most of what I do is for them. And it just makes life simple, it makes life easier, and that is why I do what I do. And that's it for the first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it's more of a bite-sized format. That's what I'm aiming for. And I will see you at the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Speak soon.